The Miami Dolphins lose on Thursday and changes are to come. A report from Albert Breer implies that Anthony Weaver would be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins. So we will dive into that. Plus, we'll have injury updates from today and news and notes from some of the media availabilities. And also, what does the All-22 tell of us in regard to the Miami Dolphins' loss in Week 2? We'll dive into a little film, break it down, and get some answers, all right? Smash that like button. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. And as always, you know what time it is. Let's get into this.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score! Field down the near side, man open. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. It's going over the touchdown again.
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go!
What is good, Fit Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through on this episode, as you do, with already well over 100 of you in the chat. As we get started here, please smash that like button. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe, as we're only a few days away from the Dolphins and the Bills. And I don't know if Mike McDaniel views it as D-Day or not, but I mean, geez, Lord. I mean, 10 days, there ain't going to be no more perfect of a time other than the bye week in the schedule to get things changed in that building. But, I mean, you know, we all remember with Flores, they decided in October they were going to fire Flores, and they didn't wait till the end of the season to do it. Now, I wanted this done after week 1. And the reason why I wanted it done after week 1 is because the longer you wait, the further the season can get away from you. That's where I wanted this done when we were 2-6 last year. So never mind week 1 this year. I mean, you know, we're about to come on 365 days of me calling for a change at coaching and at GM. So, you know, we're literally about to hit the year mark, you know, next month in October. So here we go. But that's where I'm at. Now, shout out to the homies in the chat right now. And Derek comes through and, you know, he got a question. He got a good question too. So we'll put that up here. Appreciate you for coming through, Derek. Derek comes through. And he says, hey, Reason, excuse me while I put my tinfoil hat on, but do you think that Weaver has been told to dial his defense back a little to sabotage McDaniel? There's that word, eh? There's that word, sabotage, huh? You remember over here all the talk about was Flores sabotaging Tua, and lo and behold, when everything's said and done, we find out that he was sabotaging Tua. And I even back then, you know, I wasn't a Flores guy anymore. I was when we got him, but by the end of it, I wanted him gone. It's kind of like the same as McDaniel, really, if you think about it. I loved Flores in the beginning. I loved McDaniel in the beginning, but then as the flaws stacked and they ended up costing us, I wanted both of them gone by the end of it. And, you know, here we are again. It just took a little longer. But I said Flores wasn't sabotaging Tua, and I ended up being wrong. You know, I got egg on my face from that. I don't want to sit up here and say that. I don't think, like, honest opinion, I don't think we were sabotaging. He don't come off like that kind of petty guy. You know, I don't think so at all. You know, he doesn't come off like that type of guy. Then again, Flores didn't come off like that type of guy to me either. A lot of things he came off to me as, and a sabotagier was not one of them. So, I can't sit here and say that. Now, after what we found out after Flores, nothing would surprise me at this point. But I just, I've said this. Put production that we've seen from the defense aside. Weaver seems like the perfect balance between what you wanted in Flores and what you wanted in McDaniel. A player-friendly coach, but that's also all about his business. So I can't really buy into that. I really can't. Why not Bevel? I think Weaver's a mistake, damn it. Well, it ain't done yet. We'll get into the whole Weaver thing here, but we'll talk about it. Let me dive into that, Russell, when we get into everything, okay? Now, let's throw an interesting stat to you. The Miami Dolphins through 2 weeks rank number 4. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, in rushing yards per attempt. And then you're going to say, well, reason. Why are they 29th rushing offense in the NFL? You want to know why? Do you really want to know why? Because they're dead last in rushing attempts. Oh, God. Oh, my Lord. You are number 4 in rushing yards per attempt, but dead last in the NFL in rushing attempts. Holy. And I get it. The O-line is up and down. I get it. But my God. Please. Now, that also is a little bit of a biased stat because we were down 33-8 to the Colts and we had to drop to a back and pass the football. So, you do got to look at the context of the situation. But, I mean, you do look at the New England game, right? And we were in that game the whole time. We were in that game, ladies and gentlemen. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And we only ran the ball 15 times. They ran the ball 29 times. Ollie Gordon had 1 carry and he gets 8 yards and they never give him the ball again. You figure this one out. And Ollie Gordon even had that nice, that nice catch out of the backfield where he kind of had to stretch back a little bit and make the catch because it wasn't the greatest throw from Tua. But, that's not, we are not dead last because we were constantly getting blown up by opponents. We lost by 6. We had the lead. What are we talking about here? We had the lead in that game multiple times. So no, that's not a viable excuse. They only got blown out in 1 game. That is not a viable excuse. You ran the ball 15 times on Sunday. The Patriots ran at 29. They beat you by 6. Again, McDaniel doesn't know how to find that proper balance. That's it. That's all. He'd rather drop Tua back 32 times. May only drop back 23. So, no. It's just not good enough, man. You got to be able to find that. And Ollie Gordon's giving you first carry out yards. Thrown to the bunch. And Ollie Gordon, if you go watch that big gain end around that Malik Washington had earlier in the game, go watch it. Ollie Gordon's effort in the All-22. Go watch his effort on the block. It didn't make the chopping block of the All-22. We're going to get into it a little bit. But it was a damn great effort, and it was on the list. The timestamp, everything, it was on the list. I just had to cut down. I actually wanted to do about 29 plays today, and we're only doing about 18 because 30 plays, we'll be here for an hour and a half just breaking down film. And I know that can be a lot for people. I used to do it. I used to break down every offensive for, 4 years? We broke down every single offensive play of every offensive drive. And over the last year and a half, I've started to switch it up where, I've mixed in more defensive plays and I've tried to make it, more easily digestible for all of you guys. But, I mean, Ollie Gordon was doing good things. He had a nice catch, right? He had a, great block in the Malik end around. I mean, one run for 8 yards and just, no, we're good. No, we're good. No more OG 31. I don't get it. I mean, we saw the same thing with Jalen Wright last year. Jalen Wright has a breakout game against the Patriots. Well, let's put him on ice, guys. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on this one. It boggles my mind. It's impressive how much it boggles my mind. Now, if you guys didn't see Nick Needham, he was signed to the New York Jets practice squad. So Nick Needham comes back to the AFC East, but not to Miami. Tua Tagovailoa was at the podium today. He said he definitely sees that opponents are making sure that they try and take the middle of the field away from him. Also admitted to his throw to Tyreek Hill being underthrown for sure. I mean, you watch the film, the base isn't great. He does this little shuffle to the left, and the base isn't really strong when he throws it. Didn't get a lot of kinetic energy coming up from his feet. And he's also about to take on a hit, and you can just watch him and you can sense that he knows the pressure's coming. But a lot of people are making a big deal about what he said about Josh Allen. He referred to Josh Allen as being a top-tier quarterback in the NFL, but he also said, quote, I can't do half of what he does running the ball, and then how he can chuck it downfield. And a lot of people are taking offense to that. Not offense, but they're saying, Tua's admitting his limitations, all this stuff. I mean, whoever said Tua Tagovailoa was Josh Allen, number one. So I don't know why we're surprised and why we're castrating the kid for admitting the truth. Josh Allen might be the best football player in the world right now. Tua certainly isn't right now. So I'm just saying, let's relax on that. I think people are reading way, way, way too deep into that. Way too deep into that. So, yeah, I think that's, something that people are stressing way, way, way too much about, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Now, I do see people asking for Greg Dulcich to come up. Where's Dulcich? I mean, hey, I'm down. The problem is we don't have a third running back, so they're going to keep elevating Jeff Wilson. And then the problem is Jason Sanders is out. So they're going to keep elevating Riley Patterson until he's back, and then they're going to just get rid of Riley Patterson. They're just going to try and use up all of his elevations. That's why you're not seeing a Greg Dulcich or someone come up right now, because they're having to make up for other injuries. If we had a fully healthy roster, you might see Dulcich getting a chance. But the fact is, you're not going to right now with these injuries, especially these key injuries. So, it is what it is. Right? I mean, you just got to accept it. I mean, it's the injury bug that consistently hits us. So, man, we just need better all around right now. I don't know what else to say. We just need better all around on all phases. I mean, I wish I could leave the special teams out, but I still can't get over the fact we allowed. Like, what are the chances? Like, are they like 10,000 to 1? 50,000 to 1? I want to know what would the betting odds be on a punt return followed by a kickoff return for a touchdown on the very next play? Those got to be like 50 to 100,000 to 1 odds, no? I think 10,000 to 1 is even smaller. I want to know what that is. I would be very interested to see what that is. For sure. Would love to see those betting odds. I'll take it all day. My God, that was crazy. Shifty 49ers Talk says, reason let's get positive. Who are your favorite 3 players on the Fins right now? Devon Achane. You know, I called him like a year before we drafted him. I was leading that bandwagon to draft the kid. He's the best player on offense right now. I'll give it to him. Number 1, hands down right now. Number 2 would probably be, I know he's not performing well right now, but it'd be Zach Sealer for sure. Number 3, I just want to see him be so successful. I don't know why. But number 3, Chop's always going to have a special place in my heart. I love me Chop Robinson. You know, but you could put Waddle there for me too. I love Waddle. You know, I think he's got number 1 ability, but he's stuck behind Tyreek, you know? So, but yeah, I love those guys. You know, those would be my favorite Dolphin right now, for sure. Number 5 would probably be, then you could probably fit 2 in at 5. I mean, he's the first Pro Bowl player we had at the position. You know what I mean? In 30 years. You can say what you want about his health, but the evaluation was right. You know, he led the league in passing yards. He's led the league in completion percentage. He's led the league in passer rating. Got named to a Pro Bowl. You know, the evaluation was right. The problem is the injuries have set him back. He's lost valuable reps, especially in critical moments, due to his, you know, to his own doing, really, because not all those injuries are on the offensive line. You know, I bitch more about the offensive line protection from a sack standpoint, especially in critical moments. I don't really bitch about the offensive line getting hurt if you listen to me. I really don't say, oh, they're going to get him. You know, I might facetiously say that I'm going to get him killed, but I actually don't go on rants about they're going to get Tua hurt, because a lot of his injuries recently have been his own doing. And all these injuries have, taken a toll on his body, so we're never going to see anywhere close to what he was at Alabama in terms of physically, especially now that he's dropped perform and 3D QB because of his contract and what the Dolphins wanted. And those injuries have taken away, like I said, key reps that have stunted his development in certain areas to his game. But he's definitely the best quarterback we've had since Greasy and Marino. And I know it's going to happen. I know he's going to go somewhere else and going to get a good offensive line, and they're going to have a run game. I mean, if you were impressed with what Tannehill did when he left here and went to the Titans, what do you think Tua would do if he went to that situation? He's going to go win a playoff game somewhere else. It's the life of a Dolphin fan. We'll still be in the cycle of trying to find our quarterback. He'll go and win a playoff game somewhere else. McDaniel will go back to, you know, he'll go under McVay in LA, or he'll go back to San Francisco for 2 or 3 years. Then he'll get another head coaching gig. Then all of a sudden he'll start finding success somewhere else. I already know how it goes. That's just the life of a Dolphin fan. You know, even when things aren't working out with certain players or coaches here and it's time to move on, we make the right call and move on, but they go find success in other places and we're still churning our wheels trying to find the success. It's the life of a Dolphin fan. I mean, this has been the life for over 25 years right now. It is what it is. The only thing I can think of is, thank God we didn't let Marino go to Minnesota and we paid him to retire, because watching him with Chris Carter and Randy Moss have playoff success would have broke my heart. Thank God that happened, okay? Thank God. And, you know, I'll give you an example, Shifty 49ers Talk. I was watching Mac Jones do what he was doing with y'all this weekend. What do you think Tua would do with that? Right? Like, I'm sitting there like, what do you think Tua would do in that situation? And I know I'm going to watch it. I know. When people thought he didn't have what he had in him in 2022 and 2023, and that 6-game stretch we saw in 2024 when he came back from a concussion, when people didn't think he had that game to him, I was saying, okay, he's going to go to the Saints under Sean Payton, people were saying he'd go to the Saints. I was always saying, put him under Shanahan and watch the magic. And then all of a sudden he had those years and people saw You know, it's what Kyle, you know, it's what Richie Incognito said, right? We've seen Tua has that elite ability in him as a passer. Not as an athlete, as a passer. But stretches over the last 2 years have been very troublesome, and it's led to people even discussing regression to his game. So, I don't know. Anyways, that's enough of that rant. Get me going on that. We do not need Chan Gailey. The game passed that man a long time ago. Thank you very much, chat. All right. So, we got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with what Albert Breer had to say today. All right. Albert Breer actually said it yesterday on the Rich Eisen show. And this is what he said. You know, and I just gotta, I just gotta say this. I get that. I agree. Like, there's got to be a reset at some point. You got to just push the red button. But man, doesn't that feel like we're just falling right back into the cycle of what we've been for 25 years? It feels like every 3 or 4 years we're just resetting. Like, it's awful, man. It's awful. It's like we as an organization, our identity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Like, we are the definition of insanity. You know, that's why we've been through 26, 27 quarterbacks since Marino. We've been through how many head coaches since Shula left? You know? Think about that. We went from having a guy that had been here since the 60s. We were on the path of those Packers and those Ravens and, you know, those franchises, the Steelers, where we have long-term head coaches and only a few in our history. And instead, it's turned into this. Instead, it's turned into this for 25 years. Because that's another thing people don't want to talk about. Everyone talking about all the quarterbacks we've been through. What about all the coaches we've been through since Shula retired? And then you look at the great franchises around the league, they've got stability. And they've had stability. You know, the last 30 years, the Steelers have only had 2 coaches. How many coaches have the Ravens had over the last 25 years? And they managed to find Brian Billick, and John Harbaugh in like a 10-year span. You know what I mean? Like, look at the 49ers. You know? Like, look at the coaching success they found over the last 15 years. From Harbaugh to Shanahan. They've only had 2 coaches over 15. That's success. That's continuity. That's stability. We haven't had stability anywhere except what? The general manager position, and that hasn't worked out. Guy's been in our organization for 25 years, and no playoff wins while he's been here. Listen, I agree 110%. He's part of the issue, for sure, 110%. I'm going to tell you something. Like, listen, we're Dolphin fans. We sit there laying at night wondering how this will get fixed. And I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I lie there and I wonder myself, is this not going to get fixed until he's gone? Whether he decides to pack it up or the Grim Reaper comes knocking on his door, I'm not going to lie to you guys, especially over the last 2 years. I've asked, since that collapse in 2023, I've privately asked myself this question so many times. Is it not going to change until he's gone? We've got so many issues, but is he the root of it? And is that root covered up by his never-ending checkbook? You know? I don't know. I wish I had that answer for you guys. I really do. And I hate even thinking like that. Because Ross has dumped so much money into this team. He's an elderly man. I want to see the guy get a Super Bowl before he goes. But that's where you get to at a point. Because he's constantly put the wrong people in charge. And Parcells was right. Parcells in his book said one of the things he thought about Ross is he'll never put the right football minds in charge. And he ended up being right. So let's get into this. Breer implies that Weaver could be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Albert Breer of SI was on Rich Eisen, and this is this segment.
The team that I mentioned in hour number one is, I guess, of all the 0-2 teams, the one that's the hardest 0-2 might just be Miami, with a team that gets blown out on the road to start the season. 2 days later, they're having a team meeting. And 5 days after that, they lose at home by giving up touchdowns in almost all three phases to a Patriots team coming into a building that they've historically taken care of, even in the Brady era. Right. So where do things stand in Miami right now? Certainly with a lot of people talking today about Tua's comments that Tyreek Hill needs to track his ball when he's throwing it, Albert.
Yeah. Well, let me take you inside the players only meeting last week. My understanding is that there was a message from the captains to the rest of the team about accountability. And it was about accountability to each other and accountability to yourself. And more or less, it was the NFL is going to judge you regardless of your circumstances, regardless of your coaching. The NFL is going to judge you in a vacuum, and it's on everybody to take personal responsibility. And it's more or less closing ranks and saying this isn't about anybody else but the players. And sometimes that happens at the end for coaches, So I think that message was received by the people in that by the players in that building. The tough thing I think for McDaniel, and I really like Mike as a coach, and I've known him a long time. I think the tough thing for him is this narrative has been there for the last 4 or 5 months. That some of the stars in that building ran wild over the last couple of years, and they spent some time this offseason in their roster building trying to clean all of that up, and that you would have this sort of issue after week one, and that sort of no-show in that week one game against the Colts. And now you're 0-2. I think only further fuels the narrative. The other thing that's just lingering out there is the fact that they're in the middle of, a sort of a soft rebuild. Teron Armstead retired. They traded Jalen Ramsey. They've moved now from the phase where they had 2 on the rookie contract into now he's on a big second contract. And so they're going to be gradually relying on more young players over the next couple of years. And when a franchise does that, the natural question for an owner to ask is, are these the people I want leading the rebuild? And so if things don't go well early this year, those questions will naturally come up. So I think all of that is in play. You've got a standalone game. You and I both know how that can affect things against maybe the best team in football on Thursday night in Buffalo. It's a lot, and that's a big spot, I think, coming up this Thursday night for Mike McDaniel. And another thing that's lingering here is the fact that his defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver, is beloved inside that building and is seen by a lot of people as a future head coach. So if there comes a point where this really goes the wrong way, could Stephen Ross say, I want to take a look at Anthony Weaver as my head coach? I think you could eventually get there. I don't think it'll be after Thursday night, but I think they could eventually get there.
Yeah, ask Brandon Staley how a blowout loss in division on Thursday Night Football went for him a couple of years ago. But
we shouldn't be a factor, but it is, right? The owners have to hear that. It's the only game on, and so it becomes bigger than maybe it should be sometimes.
Hey, man.
Right there, he says it could get there. He doesn't think it's going to happen on Thursday, but then they kind of back up on that, and they imply that if a blowout happens, it's going to happen sooner rather than later, because what? Owners are going to hear all about it because it's the only game on TV that everyone's watching. And we know how Ross already feels about how they've been in primetime before. We've heard rumblings of issues he's had with their performances in primetime. Now, in terms of Weaver, you're not saying anything I haven't reported or other people haven't reported, that he is loved in that building right now, 110%. Now, the issue where you come into right now is that defense was number 4 in total defense last year. Right now, it's 26. Last year, they had the number 9 passing defense. Right now, they have the 22nd passing defense. Last year, they had the number 9 rushing defense, and it could have been even better, but they were allowing so many yards after contact. Right now, they have the 25th rushing defense. They've allowed 66 points in 2 games. That's the 31st worst scoring defense. Last year, they were 10th. Where they're really struggling. Last year, they were 6th on third down. They were getting off the field 35.9% of the time. This year on third down, the Dolphins, they're 30th in the NFL. They're only getting off the field, they're allowing a 51.9 conversion rate, whereas last year they were allowing a 35.9% conversion rate. Almost 16 full points, that's up. Another area they continue to struggle in that we did see last year was they're not taking the ball away. Last year they were 27th in the NFL in takeaways, right? They only had 16 last year. We don't have a single one yet. So you could point to his defense and you could point to his defense and say, is that good enough? Now, say what you want about Tua. After that interception that was called back and up until the end of those final 2 drives, he was looking good. He was solid. Then he had he was making mistakes. The offensive line was making mistakes. The coach was making mistakes. My point is, the offense looked like it was righting the ship a little bit more. Frank Smith was a hot coaching candidate 2 off seasons ago. The Panthers interviewed him. Bevel is the only one out of all of them that has experience as an interim head coach. Is Weaver the right call if that's the way you're going? At this point, what do you have to lose? He comes in and he blows it. You get 2 things. Number 1, you learn he's not the guy. Number 2, you get a damn good draft pick. Flip side, he comes in, turns this thing around, and we make the playoffs. It sounds like a win-win to me. I'm down for Weaver or Bevel. I think Bevel is the one probably that makes the most sense. Frank Smith can then, Bevel will be the overseer. Frank Smith can be the play caller, or Bevel can be the play caller. I mean, if Bevel takes over play calling duties and becomes a head coach, there's no point in Frank Smith even being here. But you can keep him on board as a game planner if you want, I guess. But either way, we're going to get a new play caller. Let's put it that way. Whether Weaver's the coach, whether Bevel's the coach, whether Frank Smith's the coach, we'll get a new play caller. And if you do get a good draft pick, British Finn says, any QBs in the draft as good of a prospect? No one's as highly touted as that coming out. We all remember how highly touted he was. I mean, the hype was, up there with Trevor Lawrence and Andrew Luck with Tua coming out. But I'll tell you right now, go watch John Mateer out of Oklahoma. Go watch Lenore Sellers and go watch Garrett Nussmeier. You can go watch Drew Aller. You can go watch Sam Levitt. You want some sleepers? Taylon Green out of Arkansas. Jalen Daniels. There's some names. Go look at the film. Go come up with your own opinion. I don't think Weaver is a good coach. He looks lost. When Jim got with the Chargers, they were last in the league. Now they're top 4 2 years in a row. Don't get me started on Harbaugh, brother. We missed the boat. The problem is you're not going to go hire a Gruden or someone like that right now. That's an offseason hire. Personally, where I'm at, if the Ravens don't win a playoff game and the tensions continue to boil in Baltimore, I'd go trade for Harbaugh. Why not? You guys wouldn't like my rebuild because my rebuild, I don't know if I'd be taking a quarterback right away. You got to learn from the mistakes. And to me, that wouldn't be learning from the mistakes. You know, I'd go draft a Francis Moigoa. I'd go draft a tight end and interior offensive line help. Maybe draft another quarterback in the mid-rounds. 2027 comes along, I'm moving heaven and earth. I'm going getting Jeremiah Smith, and I'm pairing Jeremiah Smith. And we need corners in this here, too. I probably wouldn't be looking for that number 1 overall pick till 2028. I would build this team properly first. What are we going to do? Think about this. I love Lenore Sellers. I've been pushing Lenore Sellers since May. Do I have faith we're going to put a quarterback whisperer in charge that's going to develop him enough as a passer? No. More than likely, we're going to force him out there in year 1 and we're going to ruin him. More than likely, we're going to force guys out there and ruin them instead of developing them properly. Look at what the good teams do. People forget Lamar Jackson sat behind Joe Flacco at first. Jordan Love sat behind Jordan Love. Sorry, Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love sat behind Jordan Love. That'd be interesting. But he sat behind Aaron Rodgers. You know, Herbert. When Herbert got to the league, he had Pep Hamilton. Pep Hamilton is one of the best quarterback minds out there. Proven. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have these guys in place. And you got to, like, look at what Joey B is. Because the Bengals haven't been able to get an offensive line in place, Joe Burrow is almost going to be ruined. Imagine if you drafted a Joe Burrow. There's Bengals fans talking about trading Joe Burrow because he can't stay healthy on X right now. Imagine being that good of a quarterback, but the fan base is going out on you because your offensive line can't hold a block. That's organizational letdown. And I don't want to do that to the next guy we get. And 2028, I want Jaron Kawhi Sangapatele. I don't care. I don't care that he's left-handed. I don't care that he's Samoan. I don't care. None of the similarities you're going to see with Tua. He's got a stronger arm. He's a better athlete. And you know what he's already showing in Cal? He got ice in his veins in crunch time. That's what I love most about this. I'm already seeing this kid's got ice in his veins in crunch time. Now, I know it's a pipe dream. But man, Sangapatele, I would, oh my God. He might be, you know, he's one of my favorite players to watch in college football right now. The guy's a true freshman. He's awesome. He's going to be, you know, I look at him and I'm like, oh, he has the things we wish Tua has. A little athleticism, a little niftiness, stronger arm. And in crunch time, you know you can give him the ball and count on him. Bryce Underwood's going to be damn good too. For sure. Arch Manning, bro, I told all of you, and I've been telling all of you for a year, he's not it yet. And he's been god-awful. Did y'all see the game last weekend? Brother, Arch Manning isn't anywhere near starting caliber NFL quarterback, let alone the generational talent he was sold to us as. So, no. The future is Bryce Underwood and Sunga Patele. And I'll tell you this right now. As it stands right now, 2027, Ryan Williams, the receiver from Alabama, as well as my boy Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, they need to go way ahead of Arch Manning. So, anyways, that's what I got to say about all that. All right. Let's now just a quick thing. Some injury updates for you. Malik Washington, he popped up in the injury report. He's going to play on Thursday. Aaron Brewer, he has a strong chance to play. He's been dealing with a hip injury since Sunday's game. All right. Undetermined if Jalen Wright or Darren Waller will play, but he said he's more optimistic. McDaniel said he's more optimistic about Wright when it comes to the two. Rosenhaus was already on WSVN and with Josh Mosier, and he reported Waller's probably not going to play. Benito Jones is trying to play. Storm Duck and Melifanu are unlikely to play. And Ethan Bonner was limited in practice. So there are some injury updates for you guys. All right. Now, let's get into, Marcel Reed does look good. Marcel Reed, and think about it. Everyone thought in Texas A&M that Connor Wegman would be that dude. But it ended up being Marcel Reed. He looks real good. He looks real good, man. All right. So let's get into some of the film here. We got over 400 of you in the chat. Smash that like button. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. Let's get into the film here for all of y'all. And I've got about 18, 19 plays for each and every one of you guys. So let's get into it. So right here where we are, this is the opening drive of the game right here, okay? It's 2nd and 7 at the Miami 8. The Patriots, they've dug themselves out of a little bit of a hole that was created by a Bradley Chubb sack earlier in the drive. You got May under center. Single back here is Antonio Gibson. All right. 1x2 receiver set. It's 11 personnel for the Patriots. The Dolphins show cover 2. Now watch Douglas, number 3 to the top right. He's going to motion to the left. May is then going to fake the handoff. He's going to bootleg to his right. The play fake, watch the play fake that's going to come here. And then watch 33. All right, 33 is lined up with the hashes, and Melifanu is behind him on the hashes with his arms out right now. That's Jason Marshall Jr. and Ifeatu Melifanu. What's going to happen is they're going to sell so hard to the inside, especially Marshall. They're going to take a false step inside and sell so hard on the fake that they're not going to be able to recover from it. And Mac Hollins is going to run a short corner route right there, and it's over. Whew. That is just not good. We'll watch it here. Again, watch on your left here. Number 9 and number 33. Watch him just buy into that fake right there. See? Look at how they got him inside the hashes. You got him to drive too far. Both of them. Look at how far inside the hashes are. Marshall realizes, oh, crap, he's breaking out. Done. Over. 6 on the board. All that Jason Marshall camp hype has been out the window the first 2 weeks from what I've seen. Let me tell you that. Dolphins' first drive of the game and the ensuing drive after that Mac Hollins touchdown we just saw. 3rd and 5 at the Miami 30. 2 is in the gun. Achane to his right. 1x3 receiver set. Split trips right. 11 personnel for Miami. It's like a cover 6. You got like cover 4 to the right side, the bottom of the screen, and you got cover 2 at the top. Now Achane's going to motion out slightly to the right, and then he's going to orbit motion behind Tua. And watch this. Tua is going to read Tyreek and Malik off the snap. And Tua is going to leak to right here. He's going to start leaking to his right. And see, Tyreek now is breaking into the middle of the field on a dig route. Now, see the safety over top of Tyreek? He's starting to read Tua's eyes. He knows where Tua's going with this football. Like, he's already reading the eyes. And instead of manning up the body of Tyreek, he reads the eyes and he undercuts the route. Boom. Now, there are some issues on this play here, all right? Let's bring it back here for a sec. There are some issues here. I think there was definitely a miscommunication. Because if you watch how Tua throws this like the dig, but watch. Tyreek turns into like an in and up and adjusts his route. In, and then he breaks up, but he's not throwing that. Like, that throw would have been short for the vertical stem of that route. So, to me, that comes off like a Tyreek decision of, I'm going to break this up. And Tua was not expecting that at all. Breaks in right there. Watch, like, the trajectory of this ball now. Because now you're seeing Tyreek's going to break upwards. So, I don't know if there's a miscommunication. I don't even know if anyone asked him about it today. But it doesn't even look like it was going to make the up part of that route, which makes me wonder if it was just a dig and not an in and up. Thank God there's offsetting penalties on the play due to an offsides on the Patriots and holding on Keon Smith. But, yeah, just clearly a miscommunication on that one. This is the very next play. It's 3rd and 5 again. Tua's in the gun. Achane to his right. You got a 3-by-1 receiver set. It's 10 personnel for Miami here. You got cover 4 for the Patriots. As Tyreek motions to the right, he's going to make it a 2-by-2 look. Okay, watch the bottom of your screen, all right? This motion. This is the whole point of motion, Tua. I don't know what's going on here. Tua does not do a good enough job pre-snap on this play. You got to read with the motion. It shows you what the coverage is going to be, but it also can show you conflict. And what I mean by that is watch the motion here. Okay, now watch 7's backing off. See the defender? See all that space that's being created? Look at the conflict you got on this side. Now, on the left side, think about this. Look at the triangle over top of the 2 receivers. Don't count the linebackers. Just count the back DBs. You've got a 3-2 matchup. If you look at here for the first 7 yards off the line of scrimmage to your right side, you have a mismatch. You have a safety deep beyond the 40, and then you've only got one corner accounting for your 2 fastest player. You got to know your route concepts here. Because watch what's going to happen. Keep watching the bottom of the screen. Look at that. Look at the conflict created. How is one man going to cover the quick out to Tyreek underneath or the corner over top? This has got to be a better pre-snap read off the motion, in my opinion. Instead, what's Tua going to take? He's going to take middle of the field where he's looking the whole time. Achane coming out with the little in route, and look at the coverage. Like, that's the throw you selected without reading what the motion did pre-snap. Now, I will say this. I haven't gone back and seen how much time was on the clock. Okay, I don't know how much time was on the clock when he snapped the ball here. Now, if he was to the line and there was less than 5 seconds because the plays are getting in late and there's all this motion, okay. But you got to notice this. You got to see this. Because you have got options here. Tyreek's got the sticks with a 5-yard cushion underneath, or you've got the over-the-top throw, the corner hole shot throw to Waddle that we've seen Tua make his whole career and even makes it later in this game. So instead it's incomplete. You know, Carlton Davis was put in conflict, and the Dolphins offense didn't take advantage. And look he's looking to that side. Look at his head's caught to that side. There you go. You got to see that, man. Instead, he opens, and he doesn't even go back to that side. Look he just stuck to the left and then back to the middle of the field. Incompletion forced the Dolphins to punt. So after the Patriots get the ball back and a booty touchdown has the Patriots now up 12-0. This is Miami's second drive of the game. The offense has settled in, and they find themselves at the New England 18 on 2nd and 2. Tua is in the gun, Achane to his left. So 1-by-2 receiver set. 11 personnel for Miami. It's cover 3 for the Patriots here. This is, Tua's going to pump off the screen. Now Tua starts to settle in. Tua pumps off the screen to Achane, and then he's going to move his eyes to the middle of the field, which is going to draw the safety inside the hashes on that side. It's going to free up Waddle to beat his man on the corner route. Look at where his eyes are, middle of the field, and see how it moved the safety inside the hashes? Now he knows my man wins that battle. We're good. And he just right in the bucket on the corner throw. Great throw by Tua. Really great throw by Tua. But see, now you're back to doing the small things that's winning. And we just saw him hit that, that corner shot right there. I mean, all these people who say Tua can't throw outside the numbers, I mean, get your head together for real. And good protection. Look at what he does with some good protection here. Look at that pocket. Makes him pay. But let's come back here and watch him off the snap. All right? Watch him off the snap. Takes a snap. Look at, pumps that, sells it. Now his head is back to the middle of the field, trying to move that safety, and he does. Boom! Drops it in. Perfect. Extra point would be good. It'd be 12-7 Patriots off of this. But good work here from Tua. Good job by Waddle. Look at, see? Boom. Look at, see that slight little comeback? Did you catch that? I don't know if you caught that. Watch his face mask. Starts on the middle. Comes back. Look at, he's back to the middle. See, he's back to that middle safety. Right? Now he's back. Boom. Perfect throw. Good stuff. So now it's 15-7 after the Patriots added a field goal on the drive following the Waddle touchdown. 2nd and 5 from the New England 29. Tua is in the gun. Achane to his left. 1-by-3 set. It's 11 personnel here for Miami. Patriots show cover 2 pre-snap. The coverage by the Patriots is great downfield. There's nothing open. But if you watch the linebacker close to the hashes on the, closest to the 20 and closest to the hashes at the bottom of your screen, that's Spillane. And what he's going to do is he's going to bail towards Waddle. Waddle has the orange cleats at the bottom here, all right? He's going to bail towards that. And what's that going to do, right? Tua's going to make him pay because that's going to open the middle of the field on the angle route right there. See? Open the middle of the field for the angle route. Tua saw it. Tua read it. And what an effort. Look at the effort. My God, the effort. 2 weeks in a row. Achane had to become a power back to finish it off. But look at that. Perfect. Perfect stuff. Man, Achane, best player we have right now. I don't care what anyone tells me. 15-14 Patriots after the extra point is good. So Dolphins have the ball to start the second half. They're still down 15-14. It's 3rd and 13 from the Miami 26. Tua's in the gun. Achane wide right in the backfield here. 1 receiver to the left. 3 receivers tight to the right with a stack on the outside. 11 personnel for Miami. It's cover 4 for the Patriots, but they're going to shift to cover 3 pre-snap. Tua's going to get to the top of his drop, and this is the throw to Tyreek. Watch his footwork. Tua's going to get to the top of his drop, and watch, it's going to do this like little shuffle step. And he's going to shuffle his feet quickly to the left. He's going to feel the pressure coming off the right side due to Borum getting beat inside. Tua's going to get hit as he releases the ball. And so you see, watch, it's a little shuffle there, boom. Didn't fully get into it with his base, you can tell. Now, the ball did travel 56 yards, but Tyreek Hill, well, he was flying on that go route. He has to stop up and come back to the ball as the defender runs past him for the completion. Ends up being a 47-yard gain from the line of scrimmage, but like I said, it was 56-yard throw when you add in the distance from behind the line of scrimmage. Big gain for Miami. Dolphins, though, they would settle for 3 on this drive instead of 7 to give them the 17-15 lead. Would have wanted to come away with more points there. So now, after the Dolphins defense forces their first punt of the season, the offense has the ball back. It's 2nd and 10 at the Miami 44. Tua's under center. Look, it's an I formation after the Ingold motion right there. You got a 1-by-1 receiver set. You got 21 personnel for Miami. Cover 2 for the Patriots because you see the safety dropping back there. Tua's going to drop back. He's going to keep the safeties honest by keeping his eyes downfield, and he's going to target Waddle on the deep out route in the soft spot of the Patriots zone coverage. Look at this right there. He sees it, releases it on the money. Great read and throw here by Tua. And watch this. Watch 71 here over 94. That 94 is Corey Durden, and he's going to put Keon Smith on skates. Patriots would challenge the catch, but it would stand as a 23-yard gain for Miami. Yeah, watch Keon Smith. He's going to just put on skates, just beat. Now he holds it enough though, but so did he really get beat? No, but you could see he was losing the power battle. Great catch by Waddle there. Same drive. Now we're about 8 plays later, 3rd and 11, 2 in the pistol, 2-by-1 receiver set, 11 personnel for the Miami Dolphins here. All right. And 2 in the pistol, 2-by-1 receiver set, 11 personnel for the Dolphins, cover 4 for the Patriots. The line breaks down for the Dolphins. All right. You got Milton Williams is lined up as a 3-tech over Jonah's left shoulder. He's going to get his hands inside of Jonah's arms. He's going to swipe them easily out of the way with a rip to finish off his move. He's going to get through the B gap. Paul also gets beat wide with that dip. And there you go. Borum also got caught off balance too. So Tua, he tries to move out of the way to avoid the pressure, but loses his footing, slips, and he's going to fall for the sack here. Drive over. Dolphins have to settle for a field goal. Just not great protection. Jonah had a rough game, ladies and gentlemen. Jonah was rough. Borum was rough. Keon Smith was rough. Even Patrick Paul, who's been our best lineman, had some rough reps. So it's 2015 after they settle for a field goal. So this is the Patriots' ensuing drive after the Dolphins field goal. It's 3rd and 3 from the Patriots 24. Mays in the gun. Stevenson's to his right. 3-by-1 receiver set after the motion. Trips left now. 11 personnel for the Patriots. Dolphins, they're in cover 2 pre-snap, but shift to cover 3 post-snap. Phillips, he's going to win off that edge at the bottom of your screen with speed and a little quick rip move. But watch May. He's going to adjust his body, step up to avoid the pressure. And watch Stevenson, the running back. He is going to get an outside release on his real route because he's against Jordan Brooks right here. And May just drops a dime to Stevenson, who takes it upfield for 55 yards. And watch this. Now you think the tackling would be, watch Marshall. That's Marshall who's grabbed him right there. Blows it. Right? Come on, man. Just a poor tackling effort from Melifanu and Marshall at the end there. This would lead to a Patriots touchdown on a 6-yard Drake May scramble and a 23-20 lead after they successfully convert the 2 points. But got to get him there, man. Drops it in. But watch the tackling here. Melifanu whiffs. Marshall whiffs. And then Brooks has to come and chase it down and clean it up. Embarrassing. Dolphins have the ball now after Drake May made it 23-20. You've got a 3rd and 8 right here from the Miami 48. 2 is in the gun. Achane to his right. You got a 3-by-1 receiver set with Tyreek motioning to check the coverage for you here. 11 personnel for the Miami Dolphins. Patriots are going to drop to a Tampa 2 look almost post-snap because the high safety is going to become a robber after the corner drops deep here. And Tua just gets some happy feet here. He's got outlets underneath, but he bails to his left, and he essentially kills the play. He's got outlets underneath right there. I mean, if you don't he doesn't like the deep route that you're seeing at the 40 because it's going to break in. See, that's why he didn't like it. Now, you had the defender following the other route on the inside, so technically you had it, but he didn't like it. So he bails, and everything's basically dead now. And so he goes out of bounds. No, I'm not honestly a fan of the play call. I'm also not a fan of what Tua did here. Not a fan of a lot of things on this play. I don't think this is a good play call. Why are we only having, too short routes and we need sticks and everything's just super deep. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that play call. I'm also not a fan of Tua because if you go back and look there, I mean, there's some space, Tua. You know, if you can beat 97 to that edge, there's some space there to take off, but he doesn't. So now this is the following drive for the Patriots, and they're forced to punt. And watch Malik. He's going to score the first punt return touchdown for the Miami Dolphins since Jakeem Grant did it in November 2020 against the Rams. Just a great effort by Washington here. Watch how he gets in here. Look at, he spins off that hit, takes another hit, spins back off his own player, gets wide to the left, beats the kicker, and he's off to the races for 7. Dolphins get the lead back 27-23 with the 74-yard punt return touchdown. And this play had us all believing for a moment. And it literally was a moment. But, I mean, what an effort here. Look at it. He just sucks the coverage into the right, the punt coverage to the right, spins off a tackle, spins off bodies and breaks another tackle, gets wide left, and look, it breaks another tackle. Man, I love Malik. He might enter my top 5 soon. Now comes the kickoff following the punt return touchdown. Miami Dolphins special teams giveth and taketh. Antonio Gibson is going to return this kick for 90 yards and a touchdown to give the Patriots the lead 30-27 after that extra point is kicked. Look at Judon just stops running. He says, screw it. My God, I'd love to know what the betting odds are on this happening. Look at it. Just Judon gets moved out of the way. He breaks through the hole, missed tackle, gets outside the clutter, and he's gone. Ouch. Pain. Dolphins next drive after the Patriots kickoff return for a touchdown. 1st and 15 after a delay of game penalty. 2 is in the gun. Achane to his right. 2-by-1 receiver set. 11 personnel for the Dolphins. Cover 1 for the Patriots. Tyreek. Watch Tyreek. He's going to run like a deep curl or a comeback. And 2 is going to throw it like he's going to break outside or towards the corner. And the ball falls incomplete. You really notice it from the other angle. But again, another miscommunication. And this was a big opportunity for the Dolphins. I mean, clearly Tyreek and 2 are not on the same page here, which is a shame because the defender over the top slips. And if they connected on this, it could have been a house call for 6. This is a big opportunity missed for the Dolphins. But when you watch it, it's like, watch Tyreek. He runs like a deep curl. And, like, look at where the ball is. The ball's thrown like he's going to run like a corner route. So just a clear miscommunication there, and that's a big miss. Same drive with the Dolphins at midfield now. 3rd and 7, 2 in the gun, empty backfield. 1-by-3 set, 11 personnel for the Dolphins. Patriot, they're in like a dime 3 safety look right now. Borum is going to get his hands easily swiped away by Landry. And Milton Williams is again going to beat Jonah off the outside shoulder with a rip move. 2 is going to try to step up, but the pressure is going to get him for the sack. Look, you just can't have key offensive line breakdowns on big downs. It's been a theme for this team for years. For years. It's been like this way since it was under Flores. You just can't have this stuff. I mean, look at Jonah's beat, man. You got to move him to the right side. I don't know what they're doing. Look, he's just beat. And then look at Borum on the right side. He's beat. Just not good enough. Right tackle and left guard getting beat in pass pro. Next play after the sack, 4th and 9 for the Dolphins. 2 in the gun, Achane in the backfield, but split wide to the right. It's a 1-by-2 receiver set with a stack to the right. 11 personnel for the Dolphins. Cover 4 for the Patriots. 2 is going to start reading the field, and to the right side. And I don't know why. Watch the orange shoes here, the cleats. I don't know why he didn't like Waddle. Waddle's out because he's been hitting it all game, but he didn't like it for some reason. And Sabotaged is once again going to have problems with Milton Williams, which is going to force Tua to step up in the pocket. I don't know why he doesn't like that out. He's looking. Look at that. I don't know why he didn't like it. It's there. And he's looking that way, and he just didn't like it. Instead, Tua locks on to Malik Washington coming across the middle of the field, and he makes an awful decision to throw it towards him with Mapu hanging underneath the route. Easy interception. It's a brutal sequence of plays to end the drive for the Miami Dolphins. And Tua talked about this play, and he said the tight end was part of his progressions, but he just never got there. I don't know why he didn't like the waddle out. It was there the whole way. Just not a good throw. I don't know what he's thinking there. You've been killing them with that deep out, and they gave it to you again, and you didn't take it. I don't know what he's doing there. So Dolphins ball now after the Patriots made it 33-27 off a field goal after the interception. Third play of the drive for the Dolphins. 1st and 10. Tua's in the strong left pistol. 2 receivers stacked to the right. Tight end tight to the left. 21 personnel for the Dolphins. Cover 4 for the Patriots. Tua, he's going to start reading the right side of the field. He's going to come back to the middle. And he's going to take Achane coming out of the backfield then on the swing route right there. Achane makes the first defender miss with a nifty move, gets up the left sideline, gets a good block, and keeps making defenders miss, taking it to the house for what we thought was 6. The problem is that he stepped out of bounds at the 26-yard line, so it's only an 18-yard gain instead of a touchdown to tie the game with an extra point to take the lead pending. Heartbreaking. And he didn't even have to, when you look at it, he didn't even have to get that close to the sideline. Brutal. So I don't have a play to show here except watch Waddle. Watch the orange cleats. This is it's a 1st and 15 after a false start on Aaron Breer following that Achane play we just saw. And you can see the Dolphins are clearly having substitution issues and the huddle isn't even broken, which leads to a delay of game. Watch Waddle. Watch Waddle. He comes out. Look at him. He's yelling, man. Waddle not having it. Waddle is clearly frustrated and yelling towards the sideline. It's now a 1st and 20. Brutal. So now it's the same drive. Achane to his left. He's in the gun. 1-by-3 receiver set with Connor motioning in and then back out. 11 personnel for the Dolphins. It's quarters again for the Patriots. And Jonah is going to be late to react to the looper, who's going to come up the A gap and flush Tua out to the left of the pocket. There's going to be nothing open to that side, but there is, again, space to run. Instead, Tua has been playing really timid outside of the pocket this whole game. He's going to run it out of bounds. See, didn't pick up the looper. He's too late. He's through. Flushes him out, and he's been playing timid. There's space again to run, but he takes it out of bounds for the sack. Tua playing timid to protect himself. That's for sure. He's definitely playing timid to protect himself. Not even a question. Not even a question. Definitely playing timid. And then 4th down now for the Dolphins. Still down 33-27 to the Patriots with under a minute left, needing a touchdown. 2 in the gun, empty backfield, 1-by-3 receiver set. 11 personnel for the Dolphins. Patriots in cover 4, not trying to get beat over the top. And here we go. 71, your right guard, Keon Smith, is going to get beat through the B gap by Milton Williams for the game-winning sack. No chance for Tua. Even still, when you watch it, I mean, there's only throws underneath here. Everything is covered downfield. This is a 4th down call. Achane and Connor were the only one open receivers in there underneath the line of scrimmage with nothing past the sticks really open. Like, even if he didn't get sacked, they had that. There was nothing. You were hoping something underneath a dump off would beat them. But Tua had no time here. Watch here. Look at how quickly Keon Smith is beat. Look at that. Just not good enough, man. Milton Williams was wrecking the Miami Dolphins. Thomas Malloy says, I don't know what it is, but give me the Gruden redemption story. And shout out to Penn Astridge for donating 5 Phinside The NFL memberships. Appreciate you, Penn. This episode, it is sponsored by Sleeper. All right? You think that you know football? Well, you've got a chance to 1,000 times your payout. All right. Try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. With more stats than any other daily fantasy app, just choose 2 or more of your favorite players from pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks wins. Use promo code Phinside, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. I mean, what do you say about the film? Just not good enough. O-line letting us down in key moments. Penalties frustrating players. Tua, between the interception that was called back and those final 2 drives, he was solid. And then the wheels fell off with him and around him. On to the Bills. I'll be live tomorrow, and I'll make sure to see you guys tomorrow. Do me a favor, smash the like button. I want you to subscribe if you are new. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming through, and I will see you on the next one. Until then, you already know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day. I appreciate each and every one of you. Love y'all, and we'll get through this season together. Fins up.